Greetings, I'm Professor K, and in this short video presentation, we're going to take a look at some of the most basic Linux commands everyone needs to know. So regardless if you're working as a Windows administrator, or you're a new person being introduced to Linux for the first time, or you're applying for an IT job, you're going to have to know how to navigate around inside of a Linux terminal. So how would I know what version of the operating system that I'm currently running? Well, to do that, I can use the uname command. So I'm just going to type in uname. I'm going to give it a space and a dash small letter A, just like that. And it tells me what version of Linux I'm currently running. What does the dash A stand for? It stands for all. Give me all the information you can find about the version of Linux that I'm currently running. But what if I didn't know what that dash small letter A stood for? Or what if I wanted to know more about the uname command? Well, then I could use the manual pages that are available for Linux. This works for any command that you can think of that can be used in the terminal for Linux. So if you want to know what switches are available for any command, and we'll cover that in this short video, you just type in man space followed by the name of that command. And here we see that the dash A stands for all. So if I want to clear my terminal, I'll just type in clear. And I now have a clear terminal. So if you are asked in a job interview, what Linux command can I use to find out information about the version of Linux that I'm currently running, you can now answer that it is the uname command. How do you find out information about what IP address is assigned to what interface? For that, we can have a couple of different commands that we can use. Now, the old command is ifconfig. Just type it in. And I'm given the IP address for my Ethernet 0 and the loopback. Now, the new command that you have to concern yourself with, which is in the man pages, is a little bit different. And you might see that command on the Linux Plus exam, which is offered by CompTIA. Let's go ahead and do another clear. Now that new command is called Ipaddr, just like that. And if I hit enter, you'll see that I get a different output for the information about the IP address that is currently assigned to my Ethernet adapters. So if you're asked during a job interview, how do I find the IP address that is assigned to my Ethernet adapter, you can tell them that it's ifconfig, or the new command is IP space ADDR. Let's go ahead and clear our screen. Now another useful command that I use a lot is to show what directories and files are currently available at this location. To do this, I just type in ls, and you'll see that I'm brought up with all the files and directories that are currently available at this location. Now to get a better idea, we can do an ls and see what's inside of a much larger directory. So I can type in ls space /etc, for instance, hit enter, and now I get a much larger output of what's available as far as directories and files. How can you tell the difference between a directory and a file? Directories are in blue, files are in white. Executables would appear using the color green. Let's go ahead and clear our screen. And again, if I don't know enough about the ls command already, well, I'll just type in man. I'll bring up that man page for ls, and there it is. So if I want to see all the files and directories, even the hidden ones, I can use the dash A switch. So let's go back inside of our etc directory here. To do that, I'm going to use the cd command, change directory. Now to change directory, I just type in cd space, give it a /, tell it where I want to go. In this case, I want to go to the etc directory. I'll hit enter, and now I'm inside of that directory. Now I can type in ls space dash small letter a, and I'm going to show all of the files and all of the directories that are currently available in here, even if there are hidden files and folders. Let's go ahead and clear our terminal. Now one command that I use quite a bit is the cat command. Now I'm going to see if I can pronounce this correctly. Cat stands for concatenating or merging of files. which is what the name is supposed to suggest. But it's also used for printing the contents of a file to the screen. So I'm snooping around up here inside of the directory that's called etc. I find a file that I would like to see inside of. To do that, I can have the contents printed to the screen. So if I want to see the contents of the system's password file, I could just type in cat space passwd, hit enter, and now I see the system's password file. Let's go ahead and clear our screen. Now again, if I want to know more information about the cat command, I would just type in man followed by cat. There you go. So I need to go up one level or back to my root directory. To do that, I'm just going to type in cd change directory ... That's going to move me back one level. And there I am back to my root. Now another command that I like to use is the touch command. So you can type in touch followed by the name that you would like to use for a new file. So I want to create a new file and I want to call it newfile.txt, for instance. Well, then I just have to type in the command touch followed by the name of that particular file. So in this case, I've already got newfile.txt created. How about newfile1.txt? Hit enter. Comes back to the prompt letting me know if that command completed successfully. Now if I do an ls, you'll see that I have that file created right here. Well, what if I want to remove that file? Well, for that I can use the remove command. Now that's just rm. And now I can just type in space -i. The -i stands for interactive, which means I want you to ask me or confirm with me that I actually want to delete this file. So in this case, I'm going to type in a space, a dash small letter I, followed by the name of the file, and I'm just going to grab it right here like this. I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy, go back to my prompt, I will paste, and now I will hit enter, and I typed in a -1, which I should have typed in -i. So let's do that again. So I'm going to back it off, type in a small letter I. This time I'll hit enter, and it's going to prompt me interactively to confirm that I actually want to delete this file. No shame in that. I'll just type in Y, hit enter. And now that file is gone, and I can confirm that just by typing in what? ls. You'll see that the file is gone. Let's go ahead and clear our screen. Now what if I'm lost? What if I need directions, or I need to know where I'm actually at inside of the Linux system? Sometimes you get so busy and you're absolutely assured that you're in one place, but you're actually in a different place. So how can I ensure that I'm where I'm supposed to be? I can type in pwd, just like that. It'll tell you that I'm currently in the root directory. And this is the symbol for root. That's the /. So if I cd /etc, I go back up into that directory and I type in a pwd, you'll see that it tells you, hey, you're inside of the etc directory. There may be times that you want to make a new directory. So let's say I would like to make a new directory and I would like to place that new directory inside of the root directory. Well, I can do that using the mkdir command or make directory command. Now I can also at the same time create a number of subfolders. So in this instance, what I've done here is I've typed in mkdir, which is make directory, give it a space -p. Now what I'm saying is I'm going to create a parent folder called data. Inside of the data directory, I'm going to create a number of subdirectories, starting with documents, forms, test, and outgoing. I'm going to do this all at one time. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Comes back to the prompt letting me know that that command completed successfully. Now again, I can use the ls command, and I can confirm that there is a data folder present at the root of my machine. So now if I would like to go inside of that data folder, I can just use the change directory command, cd space /data. Hit enter. And now I am inside of my data directory. I can do another ls, and you'll see that all those subdirectories that we created are present. As we go through each one of these subdirectories, we can get into the next subdirectory until we get to the end, which is the outgoing subdirectory. Now, what if I wanted to get back to the root location without having to do one level at a time? Well, I could just type in cd space / like that, hit enter, and now I'm back to root. So no matter where you're at inside of the system, how deep you may be inside of the system, if you just want to get back to root, then just type in cd space / hit enter, and you're there. So what if I want to remove an empty directory, or a directory I no longer have any use for up inside of my Linux machine? Can I use the rm command? Let's take a look. If I type in rm and I try to remove data, I'll type in -d and then I'll type in data, hit enter, and it says cannot remove data directory, it's not empty. So how can I do that then? Well, then I can try to do a -r and I'll try to do data. Let's see if that happens. And it comes back and it let me know that that completed successfully. So that -r stands for recursive. So now I'll do an ls, and you'll see that the data directory has been removed. But normally rm is used for the removal of files, but it can be used to delete or remove empty directories using the -r, which stands for recursive. Now, to see what processes are currently running as the user I am logged on as, I can just type in ps, hit enter, and it tells you exactly what processes I'm currently running. Not much information there. So what we can do now is we can type in ps-ef. Those are two of the most valuable options for the ps command. So if you type in man space ps, you can see exactly what these different switches stand for. To see every process on a system using a standard syntax, I can type in ps space -ef. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and quit out of the man page. I'm going to do a clear, and now I'm going to type in ps space -f, like so. So let's take a look at what all these things mean. The UID stands for user ID. Currently I'm logged on as root. That makes sense. That would be my user ID. PID, or the PID, stands for process ID. Currently the process ID assigned to this process would be, for instance, here would be process ID of 4. Now the next one is the parent process ID. So we see that some of these processes are running under a different process. And the C stands for CPU usage. The S time, that's the start time for that process. And the TTY, that just stands for the user terminal that spawned the process. System processes will show a question mark. So that's just a system process. In the next column we see time. Now that stands for the processor time. That's the CPU time for the process. And of course the CMD, that stands for the command or the process name with the path. So this process is located in this location inside of Linux. Now there are a lot more basic commands that everyone should know if they're going to be working with a Linux terminal. But we're going to cover just the basic ones that I think that are important for this video. But I'll do another video for a part 2 of more basic commands for Linux in the weeks to follow. And so that's going to conclude this short video presentation on some of the basic Linux commands everyone should know if they're going to be coming in contact with a Linux terminal. You got questions, you got concerns, comments, not a problem. Don't hesitate to reach out, contact your instructor, and I'll see you in my next video.